by far one of the most valuable and important decisions I ever made with my life was the decision to move my environment, to move halfway across the country, to go on a multi-month backpacking trip, to switch everything up surrounding me in my physical location and my environment. And that was a catalyst that led to change in every other area of my life. I firmly believe, I am so passionate about this, I firmly believe that you can take someone who is completely stagnant in their life. Maybe they've lived in the same city for 25 years, their life is going nowhere. And if you force them and move them halfway across the world, it can be such a catalyst and such an opportunity to change up every area of their life that nothing will be the same. So in this video, I'm gonna run through all of the benefits of moving your city, like moving to a new city, going on a 3-month backpacking trip, changing up your environment and why you should be doing it. I'm also gonna go into how you can set yourself up to be in a position in life where you can take off for that amount of time, and then also how to actually make the final decision to overcome procrastination and actually get on that plane ticket and go. So the number one belief system that we have to brainwash our minds with in order to get into this is the idea that we are living in the absolute golden era of worldwide travel. Never before has moving across the country or the planet been so easy, cheap, affordable, accessible, safe, efficient. I mean, it was only like a few hundred years ago that traveling 3,000 miles or going across the Atlantic Ocean took like 3 months, and it was like an extremely perilous journey. People would die of like famine and crazy diseases. It would cost like half of their life savings to be able to do it. They were maybe going off word of mouth and false promises. Maybe they got there and it wasn't what they thought it would be, and it would be almost impossible to return home. Now, if you're smart, for just a few $100s, you can fly halfway across the world in under 24 hours. The reason why this is so amazing is because it shocks your entire system. That's because as humans, biologically, our main mode of travel is by walking, by foot. You know, 100,000 years ago, to travel across a continent, it took 3-4 months. It was a very slow, gradual process, and you were continually with your tribe the whole time. Now, in under 24 hours, you can be transported to the other side of the planet, not knowing a single person around you, not knowing where you are, not knowing the language, and that's a major biological shock to your body. And the reason why this is so good is because it forces you to be in the present moment, to be completely alive, awake, and aware. And I remember, for me, like, I would always notice that I was way more creative when traveling. Like, I would always have amazing ideas coming into my mind. I would have amazing journaling. I would take awesome photos, and I felt so clear. And I always wondered why, and it's because of this. It's because we're shocking our body and we're getting in the present moment. And so this leads into really the whole point of the video. Like, the biggest benefit of this video is that traveling is a little bit scary. Traveling puts you a little bit out of your element. You have a little bit of anxiety and fear always in the background. And the reason why this is so good is because traveling gets you comfortable being uncomfortable. And this is the biggest takeaway of the video, is that traveling gets you comfortable with being uncomfortable. And I remember specifically when this happened for me, I was doing sales and we were traveling all over the country and really just pushing ourselves socially. Like, I'm very shy naturally. And I just remember every day I had so much fear in my body. Like, had so much anxiety. I was constantly nervous, like almost to the point of tears, like every single day. And while this sounds kind of sketchy and bad, what was amazing was that after 4 or 5 months, I noticed, like, hey, I'm okay feeling fearful. Like, I'm okay not knowing where I am right now. I'm okay being in this high pressure social situation. And the beautiful thing about that is that once you get comfortable being uncomfortable, you can stop accepting what life randomly hands you by chance, and you can start actually choosing what you want out of life. 90% of society has simply accepted what life randomly handed them. They live within a 60-mile radius of where they were born. They have the same friends that they went to high school with. They have the same terrible relationship and terrible job, and they're living in a stagnant pool. When you get comfortable being uncomfortable, you can actually start accepting life's opportunities, because the biggest opportunities in life are always scary, they're always out of your comfort zone, they're always risky, they always take a push, and it's always difficult. And so when you get comfortable being uncomfortable, you can start accepting these opportunities, and you can choose, what kind of friends do I actually want? What kind of geography and climate do I actually want to live in? What kind of relationship do I want? What kind of career am I actually passionate about and do I really want to pursue? That's why it's such a good thing. And I want to mention this as well. I'm American, and probably most people watching this video are from the United States. If you're from Europe or Canada, it applies to you as well. But I think we often take it for granted how blessed we are for living in this country. Like, we literally have such an enormous country. We have an amazing currency, we have a universal language, we have Hawaii, Alaska, we have many top tier cities, and it is so easy to move in the United States. I literally moved to Hawaii just by buying a one-way ticket and getting on the plane. I didn't have to fill out a single sheet of paperwork. I mean, this is crazy. There's some people that live in tiny little countries that have really bad relationships with other countries and have bad currencies, and they can't really travel. They can't move to new places. So I think if you live in the United States and you're not taking advantage of moving every year or every 5 years, then you're missing out. Now, if you're watching this video and you're saying, okay, this sounds pretty cool, I want to do this, there's something that you need to keep in mind, and that's that no one will support you. And I'm going to rephrase that and say, don't expect anyone to support you. So don't expect your family, your friends, your coworkers to support you on this, because something huge to keep in mind is that no one has lived your life before. There's been many people that have done things that you want to do, and we should for sure model them and copy them, but no one has lived your specific destined life, which means that you're in uncharted territory right now. And if you really want to take control of your life and live what you feel you're destined in, what your God-given talents are to do, that means that you're going to have to do what no one else has done before. So the only voice you should be listening to is your intuition and your inner voice. Everyone's going to say it's too dangerous, you can't do it, you'll run out of money, it's not going to work out. Completely ignore them, only listen to yourself. I think that the biggest excuse I hear with traveling is people saying that they don't have enough money to do it. What I'll say about that, they're like, Cal, you must be rich or something. And no, I am not rich. I have not made that much money in my life. I've just been good at managing it. So in order to save enough money to travel, all you need to do is stop spending money on anything that is not blessing you. Stop spending money on anything that is not necessary, and within 6 months, you'll have enough money to move to a new city or to go on a backpacking journey. The biggest myth is that traveling is expensive, and it's not. Final thing I'll say is that to actually pull the trigger and go traveling, my biggest advice is that the way that people really shoot themselves in the foot is by planning to the point of paralysis. So they project themselves in the future and they try to get a job to the new city that they move to, or they try to get an apartment for where they're going to live, or they think of possible problems that can come up and they try to solve them before they're even there. All you have to worry about planning is the minor logistical situation of, selling your belongings, getting rid of your apartment, quitting your job, buying the plane ticket, and your only responsibility is to get on that plane, sit down on the plane, and then when you land, get off the plane. Once you're there, you'll start meeting people, you'll start having opportunities thrown at you, and you'll start experiencing life. So don't make excuses, don't procrastinate. If you want to do it, buy that plane ticket, get on that plane, and make it happen. I hope you guys liked this video. If you thought it was cool, or if you have any cool comments, because I know you guys have done a lot of traveling, please leave them below. As well, hit the subscribe button, because I'm coming in hot. I'm writing an article a week, shooting a video a week, and we're doing this, so join the team, and I'll see you guys next week. Ciao.